Want to share some very quick, brief, important breaking news with you right now. Uh, we're not going to hear this in mainstream media like we should hear it, even though there are some printed outlets that have covered this. But it's us that's going to keep this going. Very briefly, as you come in giving us the thumbs up, be sure to like and share this brief breaking news, this podcast. My dear sister, who I was actually in the belly of the beast in a federal institution in prison in Texas some time ago. This young lady, I don't know if you can see her here. I'm using another device to show you this. This is Crystal Mason, also known as Crystal Mason Hobbs. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, family. Like, share, and subscribe. Listen, Crystal Mason Hobbs, this is from the Guardian newspaper, just written yesterday, of course. 2:20, I said, of course, but just yesterday. And I want you to share this, family, out, please. Texas upholds sentence for woman who didn't know she was ineligible to vote. For those of you that are not familiar with the situation, Crystal Mason was previously sentenced, y'all, to 5 years in prison for a mistaken vote. The Texas Appeals Court on Thursday upheld a 5-year prison sentence for a woman who was convicted of illegally voting, even though she didn't know she was ineligible when she went to the polls in 2016. The punishment for the Fort Worth woman, Crystal Mason, stirred national outrage because of its severity, prompting accusations that prosecutors were trying to intimidate Texans from voting. 4 years ago, Mason was on supervised release, similar to probation, which, of course, some of you may be familiar with that, not because you were directly impacted, but because we've discussed it here. Listen to this. It says that for a federal felony conviction related to tax fraud. Just so you all know, let me give you the scoop because I directly know this woman. I was in the belly of the beast with her. She served her time. She came out as a model citizen. She started her own even side business, even though she ended up getting on with the transportation department. She's raising her children. She's raising her grandchildren. And she even had some sort of guardianship or some level of custody for other family members' children. This sister, who's a model citizen, had her own hustle going on, got a job in a timely manner and all this kind of stuff. This is who they did that to, family. And her mother told her, don't forget to go vote. And that's when she went down there to vote. And she didn't even cast a regular vote. She cast a provisional vote. And so technically her vote never even counted. Her vote never even counted. She didn't keep it a secret that she had served time and that she was a felon. But yet this is what they did. Even her probation officer told them that she didn't inform her that was the case because there was nothing explicit. There was no guidelines and no rules for her to have known that. It goes on to say, during her 2018 trial, probation officers testified that they never told Mason she could not vote. Don't tell me that the system is not rigged for black folk. Actually, it's not rigged. It's working just the way it's supposed to, meaning it's supposed to benefit white supremacy. It's supposed to benefit white folk, and it's supposed to work against us. I need somebody black to talk black to me. Family, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up, thumbs up. It says Mason was guilty, the court said, because she knew she was on supervised release. Contrary to Mason's assertion, the fact that she did not know she was legally ineligible to vote was irrelevant to their prosecution. Justice Wade Birdwell wrote for the three-judge panel on Texas's Second Court of Appeals. Did you all hear what these Ku Klux Klan members who are dressed in black robes said? That's a direct quote from their brief, from their decision. I'm going to read it again. It says, they said, contrary to Mason's assertion, the fact that she did not know she was legally ineligible to vote was irrelevant to her prosecution. These are difficult times for me, but I have faith that with the help of my family and God, right will prevail, Mason said in a statement on Friday. A punishment of 5 years in jail for doing what I thought was my civic duty, and just as I was getting my family's life together, is not simply unfair, it's a tragedy. This case has already received, it says, it had a significant toll on Mason, who turns 45 on Saturday. She lost her job, which she provided the main source of income for her family, which includes 3 children, 4 of her brother's children, who she raised and her grandchildren. Did you all hear that? her three children, three of her children, three of her children, four of her brother's children, who she raised, y'all, and her grandchildren. What better model citizen is there to take on someone else's children, raise them? And then she's already done, y'all. She did like, I think 10 months or something close to that in federal prison because they violated her while she was out. This 5-year sentence is the state sentence that she's looking at, y'all. In a state pen. That's the time she's looking at here. She's already done extra time because they considered it to be a federal violation because she was on federal parole. Don't tell me that this country is reflective of its people and that black folks are true citizens of this country. Don't tell me that this government has the right to go throughout the world and tell Saudi Arabia, to tell Pakistan, to tell the Yemenis, to tell the Nigerians, to tell the Nicaraguans, to tell anybody around the world how to run their government when your vote doesn't even count. To the Roland Martins out there. I've even got some black family and sisters out there who are activists. You got hip hop artists who's telling black folk that if you don't vote, they tell you to vote or die. They're telling you that everything is on the line. They're telling you to be afraid because Trump is putting all these right-wingers on the bench. Yes, Trump is putting all these right-wingers on the bench. Wingers on the bench. But that was not some deranged right-winger that gave me an unjust sentence. It was the Clinton administration that's responsible for a lot of your family, friends, and loved ones. Even if it's not you, you probably know somebody that has been in prison because of a Democratic president's decision. This is another reason why you will be out of your mind, black family. I said out of your mind to vote for these Democrats or Republicans when none of them are promising us economic policy. This is another reason because they give you 5 years in prison for a vote that didn't even count in the first place. This is a shame. This is a tragedy. Don't tell me about just the regular military folk or your heroes. This black woman is a hero because she wasn't just raising her children. She was raising her brother's 4 children and her grandchildren. And she had her own hustle. And she was maintaining her own household. And you wonder why God himself and the universe is set to judge America. When the scripture talks about in the book of Revelation, you don't need to be religious to understand this. When you understand the proper code and the proper interpretation of the scripture, you know that when the book of Revelation talks about there's a mystery Babylon, America is the mystery Babylon. In the book of Genesis, when it talked to Abraham and said that God is going to judge that nation that afflicted, that oppressed God's people for over 400 years, that's us. That's another reason why God is judging America. Where is Simone Sanders? She linebacking for Joe Biden. You better line back your funny looking self for your own sister. Where are the presidential candidates on this? I'm making this message. Somebody just said, what do you expect from these? It's not that I expect this because I know what my own life consisted of. I knew what my own situation consisted of. I had my direct experience with this unjust government and other unjust and godless officials and forces that shouldn't be. I'm putting out this breaking news to give you more evidence of why we are making the uncompromising demand for reparations, why we're saying do for self, why we're saying raise your own children, why we're saying support your own black businesses, why we're saying we're coming up out of white supremacy, why we are being strong against these systems is for this very reason. Somebody talk black to me. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Be sure to like and share. I'm sorry. I'm screaming right now. I'm upset. I'm supposed to have been doing some medical stuff right now. And in fact, I was actually eating because some of the stuff that I have to take because of my physical issue, I'm supposed to do all this kind of stuff. And I was getting ready to rest. But I was so upset. I was just so angry. I was tweeting about it. And of course, other black media is on it. On top of it, I pray by now as well. But I just couldn't go. I said, even if I do like a quick 5-minute podcast, I want to get this out there, and I want you guys to like, I want you guys to share, and I want to let you guys know this is another reason why I want you to talk to all of your family throughout the North, the South, the Midwest, the East, and especially in the South. Talk to your black mamas, talk to your black daddies, talk to your aunties, talk to your third cousins, mamas, daddies, sisters, brother. Talk to those in the South especially that have a propensity to vote without thinking, to vote without a demand. There are plenty of folks all across the country that do that, but they're specifically counting on black folks in the South to do it. You tell them Crystal Mason Hobbs story. Go to my Twitter page at Dillard Vicki. Go to Dillard Vicki, and you can copy the link of the actual story from the Huffington Post. I just read you a clip from the Guardian Post. You all know I go to several sources for stuff. Also, you can go to my Instagram page because you can see a quick little picture on there. And I want you to tell them this is why they better not vote for no Democrats without them at least giving us something substantive back, because they screw us over. And somebody may say, well, don't blame that on the Democrats. If they're not talking about it, if they're not making demands to get her out, if they're not talking about pardoning them, if they're not calling out these judges for that, this is what they're supposed to do. They're speaking about everything else but what's related to us. We got to come up out of this system, family. This system means black folk no good. Simone Sanders works for Bernie Sanders, for Joe Biden and other, Nina Turner, these other, black advocates for example, Bernie Sanders. Nina works with him and stuff. Y'all so excited to be working for these systems that's working against black folk. You poking your chest out thinking you something because you excited about possibly being the new press secretary if you make it into the White House. Still a part of a system that means us no good. I want you guys to tell everybody this is another reason why we will not vote if we don't have specific tangibles and if they don't meet our demands. And I want you now to tell your family and loved ones who's voting for Joe Biden right now, even though Joe Biden has no specific black agenda and he's against reparations, you tell them this is why you better not be talking about just voting, when on top of all of that we're dealing with already, they're throwing our sister in prison for 5 years in the pen for this mess. One of the other articles that I read also said that her team said that they're going to appeal it. What about the children that she was raising? I don't want you to talk about no other kind of soldiers. Talk about the black woman, Crystal Mason, who's a soldier, who's raising somebody else's children. That's doing more than even calling yourself a part of the military for 2 or 3 years. In Afghanistan, how many of you all are willing to pay somebody else's bills, raise somebody else's children, and that many at that? My Instagram page is Vicki X Dillard. That's right, Vicki X Dillard on Instagram. If you want to see the picture that I put up, so you can Google from the Huffington Post and also from the Guardian. There are several others that's covering it now. But it's up to us as a black family to push this issue, and we control the narrative on this. I'm saying this is another reason why you better not tell me no vote or die. You better not tell black folks just vote and all this stuff that's on the line. Sit your funny looking self down. My Twitter page, I have the direct link on my Twitter page at Dillard Vicki. It's my last name first on Twitter. Make sure you subscribe to FlyNubianQueen.com. Check out our store at shopfnq.com. That's shopfnq.com. The reason why, family, we talk about supporting our store and doing something for yourself in exchange of helping us, like going to FlyNubianBusiness.com so that you can learn from black people how to start your own business. This is the reason why. So we can have our own money, pay for our own attorneys, look out for our own people, employ our own people, teach our own people. Are y'all hearing me today? That's important. And we need to get started now. Thank you so much for tuning in. I just came to you with this breaking news. Crystal Mason Hobbs, the appeals court, the state appeals court, have upheld her unjust and godless 5-year sentence for voting when she didn't even know she was ineligible to vote. And don't forget, she cast a provisional ballot, family, which that provisional ballot that she cast some years ago didn't even count. Black folks' talking points better not be the talking points of the Republican Party or the Democratic Party. It's what we say is important to us. Our first issue is not just getting Donald Trump out of office. Donald Trump is a sign that God is already determined to judge America. Donald Trump is truly a credibly alleged rapist and racist in chief. And that's another reason the fall of America is coming. But the fall of America is hastening because the Democrats are a part of it too. They keep mistreating us. They're against reparations. They're not raising their voices and considering stuff that's important to us to be worthwhile and priorities over any and everything else. For us, there's nothing else to talk about. Jay said, thank you, Queen. You're so welcome. I love you to pieces. I leave you in the manner in which I came, that is in peace. Again, make sure that you text the word Queens to 31996. Go to our store at shopfnq.com. More importantly, share this link out with everybody. Get the story out and make it known where we stand on this, and make sure that we keep up with this. I love you guys. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you.